Welcome to Homeschool High School's physics class. My name is Dawn Younger. During the 26-27 school year, I'll be teaching 5 different classes. The 3 math classes are Middle School Math Foundations, Algebra 1, Geometry, and then for science, I'll be teaching Earth Science and Physics. So let's talk about the physics class and what that looks like. First off, I'll be offering both a video as well as a live version of the class. If you're joining the live classes, that'll be 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11 to 11:55 Eastern Time. And you would access that through the Skool platform. So let me show you how that works. First, you would need to go to the Skool platform. That's skool.com. And then you would type in Homeschool High School. And when you do, the Homeschool High School community pops up. You can go on there. This gives you information about the community in general. And then you can click Join Group. So we need to do that as a first step. Once you have done that, you can go into the classroom and you'll see that you can access the class information with just the basic membership. You would need, if you're wanting to do the live classes, you would need to get a VIP membership. If you're wanting to do the video classes, you would need the premium membership. Once you have joined the appropriate level, then that will unlock for you and you'll be able to see it like this. So you can see we have the physics live as well as the physics video. If you go into that physics live class, you'll see first off this important information for physics. So let's go through that in a little bit of detail. So this is the live version of the physics class. Like I said, I'll tell you the differences between that and the video as we go through. But the class is geared toward 11th and 12th graders. Students will need to have had Algebra 1. They need to have a good Algebra 1 foundation because there's a lot of algebra in physics. So they need to have that under their belts before they tackle physics. So that's geared toward 11th and 12th graders. Obviously, if you have a younger student who you think this would be a good fit for, you're welcome to add them. Just make sure that they have that algebra background ahead of time. We will cover every single topic that a traditional classroom will cover. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So first off, the curriculum. I'll be using Layers of Learning's physics curriculum as the basis for this course. I'm not affiliated with Layers of Learning in any way. I've just been using their curriculum since the very early days of homeschooling my own kids, and I absolutely love their curriculum. I think that hands-on is the way to go, especially with sciences. Really for every subject, but especially sciences. I feel like hands-on is really important and that is what they truly excel at. They've given me permission to use their curriculum for this course, so a big thank you to them for that. I really do love it. So that's going to be the basis of what we're doing. I'm going to be adding a little bit more information, a little bit more in depth. We'll do a lot of practice problems together and I'll give you a little bit of structure to make sure that it's a solid college prep level class. So this will be a solid physics credit for your high school student. So the live format is we'll have classes from August 17th through May 28th, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 to 11:55. We'll do 4 days a week for 36 weeks, which is 144 lessons. Obviously, we'll have some breaks in there for holidays and things like that, and you can check out the calendar that I'll show you in a minute to see exactly which dates are scheduled. But in general, August 17th through May 28th. If you have to miss one of the live classes, you can jump over to the video class and watch the video on there. For those doing the video class, the live class recordings will be posted within 24 hours of that lesson being presented in the live class. So if you're doing the video, that's how you can access that. I'll show you that in just a minute. But also if you're taking the live classes and need to miss a class, you can go over there so that you don't miss any information. During the class, I'll be giving a presentation about what we're doing. Students will ask questions that I'll answer. We'll work examples together in class so that students get a really good grasp of each of the concepts. Then we'll do a fun activity. It could be notebooking, it could be something hands-on. We'll do lots of experiments. So each lesson has something where we use our hands or something creative to get a really good understanding of the topic. So let's look at how each lesson is set up. So if you go to the class, you see that there are 17 different units. We have Introduction to Physics, Basics of Motion, More on Motion in One Dimension, Vectors, motion in 2 dimensions, Newton's laws of motion, Newton's second law applied, gravity, work and energy, momentum, periodic motion, fluids, light and optics, electricity basics, more on electricity, circuits, and magnetism. So we'll be going through each of those in detail. If you click on the drop down there, you can see each of the lessons within that unit. Now, please note, I'm not done putting all that information in. I'm doing that as we go along, but Unit 1 is all put in there for you already, and I'll make sure that any information is put in there. If we're on Unit 1, I'll make sure Unit 1 and Unit 2 are complete, so the one we're on and the next one are complete, so that you can have plenty of time to purchase any supplies for activities that you're interested in doing along with us. That will be complete as we go, but so far I have Unit 1 put in. If you click on that lesson, then you'll see a list of supplies needed for any activities that you want to do with us. That is completely optional. I have some students who do the activities with me. I have others that just like to watch. It's up to you and your student which ones or how many or how few they do. They can do all of them, they can do none, or anything in between. So it's always optional. Sometimes there are also PDFs. So for example, lesson 3, we'll be using the types of forces PDF. Anytime there's a PDF, I have a link to the Layers of Learning printable pack. That's $8.99 for the entire year. So that's a really good deal. And we'll be using, I believe, every single one of the PDFs. So this is $8.99 for the entire year. If you choose not to purchase those PDFs, you can write down as much information as you can during the class. If you're taking the video class, you can pause it and draw it. If you're taking the live class, you may need to go back to the video lesson and write down, because I won't have time to stop and let you draw if you don't have the PDF. So I highly encourage you to get it, but it's not required. Then there are also guided notes. If you go on there, it's an easy way to take notes without needing to write down each little detail. It helps you kind of keep track of what's really important. It also gives an opportunity for some drawing. It shows you key vocabulary, and also gives a summary question of what we're covering during that class. So that's really helpful in taking notes. And if you would like to make sure that your students really understood the concept from the lesson, there is a quiz, a short little quiz for each of the lessons, just to make sure that they really grasp that day's topic. There are answer keys for the guided notes, there are answer keys for the quizzes, so that you are not on your own trying to figure out what was supposed to be in those blanks. Parents are responsible for grading the guided notes and grading the quizzes, but the answers are always there for you. And again, every piece of this is optional. It's what you think is best for your student. There's also, on each day that we do a lab, there's a lab log. This is what the lab log looks like. Obviously, we haven't done any labs yet, and I'm filling this out as we go. So let me show you what it looks like for my chemistry class. So you would have each lesson number, the date when we did the lab, the name of the lab, how long it took to complete, and so you have a total time up here, and then also the purpose of the lab. For the physics class, I will fill those in as we go. I'll be putting in the lesson number, the date, the lab name, how long it took, the purpose, and then there's a place for you to put in photos. So you could take a picture of the experimental setup, you could take a picture of your notebook, anything that you want to put in there, just to have a little bit extra to your lab log if you're putting that in your transcript, or just to have for yourself. It also could create kind of a fun scrapbook of our year in physics if you put photos in there. If you're doing the video class, you would need to make a copy of this and put in your own dates here. So back to our important information. As far as homework, students will sometimes be asked to do a little bit of research or to design an experiment. It's up to you as the parent if you want to require them to do that. I will be offering opportunities for students to share what they learned, but I will never require that a student share. So if they are not completing it, that's fine. If they complete it and just don't want to share their findings, that's also fine. There are only a few days scattered throughout the year when I will ask for that, and the parent would be responsible for grading that. As far as evaluations, if you look at the unit at the very end, there's the Unit 1 evaluation. Again, that hasn't been set up for the rest of the units yet. I'm doing that as we go. But you can find 2 different options. So first of all, you can see the first option would be the Unit 1 evaluation. Because we haven't completed it yet, I don't actually have the evaluation yet, but there will be a test here at the end. So that's if you want to do a more traditional test. If you want to do a more creative version of the evaluation, I will have for each unit a suggestion of what you can do, and that will show you the materials that you need and the directions for doing that creative evaluation. So it's up to you how your family works best, how your student learns best, to choose which of those evaluations. And again, that will be your responsibility for grading them, but I will have answer keys for the tests and the quizzes, so you're not on your own. And if you ever have questions about grading, you can send me a chat message on the Skool platform, or you can go to the chat portion. So if you're in the Skool community, this community section has a chat. Right now, I only have the general discussion, chemistry class, and meetups, but I will have one for physics as well. So you can go into that physics section and put your question so you can get help from other parents, or I will answer on there. And that way, if you have a question, there's a good chance another family might have a question, so you can put it on there for everyone to see. Otherwise, you can send me a chat and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have. As far as the supplies you need, again, your student is never required to do any of the activities, but I do have at the bottom of that information sheet, this physics information sheet, it has the date that we will be completing a lesson, the number and name of the lesson, the unit that it's part of, the layers of learning unit that it's part of, if there is a printable that I'm suggesting for that day, as well as which supplies would be needed. This top line is general ones that are used over and over throughout the lessons. So physics notebook, 1.5 inch 3-ring binder, page protectors, printer paper, pencils, colored pencils, glue sticks, and a calculator. For each of those, if it's pretty common things like printer paper, I just wrote it out. If it's something that is a little bit harder to find, or something that you might want a little bit more guidance in getting, I have put Amazon links on those, so you can click on that and go to that particular TI 84 plus CE. So something very specific like that, I have links. And even to some things like page protectors, you might not know exactly what I mean by that. So I've put that on there so you can go on there and see what that is in my suggestion. You're never required to buy the kind that I'm suggesting. It's just hopefully a help to you as you're looking at those different things. So for each day, I have those that you need. These will always take you to that printable pack on layers of learning. And again, don't forget that that's within each lesson also. Those are listed out. This is just if you want to see the whole year at a glance, what that's gonna look like. Now I will say, I'm promising to make sure that we have the unit that we're on and the next one completed. There will be some that have these question marks. That means I don't know exactly which activity that we're gonna be doing. So if you come across those question marks, know that there will be something in there. I just don't know what quite yet. So if you're wanna buy everything ahead of time, just remember that those question marks just aren't quite figured out just yet. So as far as supplies, you can find that on the information sheet. The benefits of this class, first, are in-depth instruction in each of the topics. So I'll be covering very thoroughly everything that would be covered in a traditional physics class. Again, this is a college prep level class, so in-depth instruction in each topic. As far as the live class goes, there's also that consistent accountability of being in class each time and keeping up with their work so that you don't get behind. And even with the video classes, also knowing, oh, the new lesson has come out, I need to be sure to do the ones before it. That's also some accountability that can be helpful. Working through practice problems together, whether you're watching that being worked through on video or working through it in the live class, is really, really important for physics. Then also, if students have questions, then being able to ask questions or hearing questions from other students, whether in the live or the video classes, they're able to hear the questions that other students have that may trigger something they didn't think to ask. So that's pretty neat. I've really enjoyed the chemistry class that I've done this way, so I'm really excited about doing it for science and physics as well. So if you have decided to join the video classes, let me show you what that looks like. So you'll go to the classroom here, you'll scroll down, and this is the physics video classes. It's set up the same way. You have that same important information. You have each of the units, the lessons within the units. You still have the guided notes and the quizzes and the answer keys, the supply lists, and the PDF lists, so that all looks the same. But you will also have the video here posted within 24 hours of the live class for you to watch. Since we haven't done any of those classes, I don't have the video here, so let me show you what that looks like in the chemistry class. If you go into the class, this is what that will look like, but because it takes quite a while to edit each video, you're actually gonna have something that looks like this, which is the recording of the Zoom meeting. So it's the same information, just not polished quite as well as once I edit the video, but it's the same information. So you'll still be able to learn well from that. If you're doing the live class, you'll want to go to the physics live class, go to the lesson, gather up any supplies that you're planning to use, the PDFs, print out your guided notes. You can always print out the quiz at the beginning as well, or you can wait and do that at the end. Then you'll want to go to the calendar, and we'll go here to August 17th. That's the first day of class. So if you go down to 11 o'clock, if I click on the physics, it says 11 a.m. to 12. It doesn't give me the opportunity to choose 55 minutes of class. So the closest one I can do is an hour, but it is actually from 11 to 11:55. Then you will click on this link and then have the opportunity to join that Zoom meeting. So that's what it will look like on a class day, and that's how you would join the meeting. So the two options, one would be the live class. For that, you would need the VIP membership. Before August 10th, you can get that VIP membership for $27 a month. If you lock it in before August 10th, that is the price for as long as you have your membership. On August 10th, that will go up to $39 a month. And again, if you lock it in at that point, that's for as long as you have the membership, even if that cost increases. For the video, you would need the premium membership. That's $9 a month until August 10th. On August 10th, that will go up to $12 a month. And again, you lock it in at whatever price you start out with. That stays your price for as long as you keep your membership. If you decided to create a student account and a parent account, you only need to upgrade one or the other. Just be sure that they access it through the one that is the higher level. You don't have to have both kinds, but if you do, make sure you only upgrade the one, and then that's for the whole family. Hopefully that gives you all the information you need about the physics class, but if you have any questions, you can always send me a message within the Skool community using that chat button, or you can send me an email at homeschoolhighschool, SC, which stands for Skool Community, @gmail.com. So be sure to reach out if you have any questions, and I hope to see you soon.